the scoring begin. He's coming out. Jamar Wall just shy of the 20-yard line. Let's quickly check in with Lisa Salters down below. Lisa?
Well, Brent, I asked Texas Tech defensive coordinator Ruffin McNeil what kind of game he's expecting tonight, and he said a wild one. You're going to need your big boy pads tonight, but he said that the Red Raiders are excited but seem extremely calm to him. And, Brent, why not? If a team goes as its head coach goes, the Red Raiders should be nothing but completely relaxed. I was talking to Mike Leach before the game. He was out here sipping a cup of water, looking and sounding like this was just another game. I asked him what he was expecting tonight, and he said, I gave up trying to predict that stuff a long time ago.
The offensive line is split from Lubbock to Amarillo. First down and 10, and here comes that new look running game. And that was Shannon Woods with the first carry. How about our impact players?
Well, let's start with, of course, Michael Crabtree, the best the best wide receiver in college football. Last year won the Biletnikoff. Now, Detron Lewis doesn't get as much recognition, but watch number 17 tonight. He'll be all over the field. And in the backfield, you'll see Shannon Woods, but also been very impressed by number 25, Baron Batch. He'll also bring in a little bit more of a tough running style to this backfield for Texas Tech.
High snap. Incomplete as Graham Harrell brought it back down. Eric Morris was the intended receiver.
Against this Texas front, because of how quickly they can get after you with Kendall, as you see, coming in on Harrell, everything has to be crisp. That includes the snaps from the center getting back to the quarterback, Graham Harrell.
What a start this would be for Will Muschamp if he could get a 3-and-out on the first series. Hang on now. 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. Offensive line keeps it clean. Can't find an open receiver. Now chucks it. First down. And there's the main man, number 5, Michael Crabtree. And he comes up hobbling. Crabtree is coming to the sideline.
Oh, keep a close eye on Michael Crabtree right here. The greatest thing about these Texas Tech receivers is when Graham Harrell starts to scramble, they're staying in timing this entire season with Harrell, and they find space. That is not a good sign there for Texas Tech to see number 5 hobbling off.
Baron Batch circles out as a running back as an extra receiver. Wide open down the middle to the 41-yard line, and he connects with Tremaine Swindle.
They will find seams if you present them, and this time, see how the linebackers came up on Baron Batch? It opened up a nice void in the back end of that zone, and again, the experience of Graham Harrell recognizing and putting the ball right where he has to Tremaine Swindle.
Working on Crabtree's left leg, lower part of that leg. First down and 10, and they come back with the running play with Woods, his second carry. This is one thing, Kirk, that Coach Leach has added to the offense. They are running the ball. Mack Brown telling us, look, they're running the ball a lot better than they have.
I think it's the best running game that he's had since he's been in Lubbock. And I asked him, and we talked to him this week, and we said, well, why this year? Why are you running the ball more? He said, well, we've got 2 great backs and a big, strong, physical offensive line. They average 139 yards this year on the ground, which is the best he's ever had.
Quick strike again. Detron Lewis, his first catch of the night.
Texas's answer with Will Muschamp here early, at least their attempt at an answer to try to come after Graham Harrell, is every single snap you're seeing a different look. The linebackers are up showing pressure, and at the snap they drop. The next play, they're sitting back to the outside, they blitz to the inside. They're trying to create some havoc and some pressure on this veteran Texas Tech offensive line, and so far Graham Harrell and company have handled it.
And Kirk, here's their second 3rd down on this opening drive. From the Horn 35-yard line, need 4. Down he goes, sacked for the first time. Wrapped up by Miller. Roy Miller with the game's first sack. And remember now that Harrell has been sacked only 3 times.
Everybody talks about Texas and they think about Arakpo and Kendall on the outside. This gives you the idea, the importance of having a push in the middle, and Roy Miller is more than capable of doing that. That'll be very important tonight for Texas's defense.
Forcing a rare Texas Tech punt. LaCour with Juan Cosby back deep for the Horns. So the Red Raiders failed to score on their first possession. And now they down a punt, and Colt McCoy will have to go the distance. 99 yards awaits the man everyone believes is the front runner right now for the Heisman Trophy. He's about to be tested in Lubbock. All fired up. Noisiest part of the stadium. Colt McCoy must operate in the shadow of his own goal after that fine punt. A power I formation. Conservative in the end zone. Safety. A safety on the first handoff of the game. Colby Whitlock. The nose man is in on Chris Ogbonnaya, and it's 2-0 Red Raiders.
That's one way to get this crowd back into the game after being forced to punt offensively. Just a push here by Whitlock, and watch the defensive line just overpower Texas up front. Richard Jones getting a push. Whitlock, Ogbonnaya didn't have a chance. By the time he had the football, all he could see are black jerseys right in his face.
These guys have been hearing for over a year that they can't play any defense. They've been waiting all year for something like this. Now, of course, the Horns will kick it away from the 20-yard line. And then the Red Raiders will have the ball after the safety. The guns were up after that safety in this stadium.
Plays like that not only give you the points, but change the momentum in a big way. It's almost like a blocked punt or a blocked field goal.
John Gold will punt it away. And Colt McCoy is on the headset talking to Greg Davis up in the booth. Bobbled on the 35-yard line, and so Graham Harrell comes out. There's Crabtree returning to the game after you saw them tape that ankle up down below.
I'm sorry, I was going to say about Graham Harrell starting his 35th game for Texas Tech. And the reason that's important is you have to go all the way back to Cliff Kingsbury for Mike Leach to have a veteran quarterback. And I think that has a lot to do with why this offense is hitting on all cylinders coming into tonight's game.
Harrell is back in the gun. Woods is the running back along to the right. Now here comes Woods, his third carry from scrimmage. And Lisa, what did you find out about Crabtree's injury?
Well, Brent, like you said, they were working on his left ankle, and I spoke to head trainer Steve Pincock, and he said it's the same ankle that he's been bothered with over the last couple of games. Like you said, they taped it up. They gave him a couple of pills. Don't know what those pills were, but they said he's fine. What they want him to do is keep talking to them, the training staff, so they can monitor how he feels throughout the game.
The Longhorns have been very successful against some very talented receivers the last couple of weeks, and certainly they'll have their eye on number 5. Second down and 5. Harrell steps off to the right and throws complete for the first down. He hits Lewis.
You're going to see a lot of these kind of looks from this offense tonight. Harrell feels the pressure, but they're going to pick on Beasley, the corner. He has to make a decision. He comes up again on the receiver that's out in the flat, giving a nice big window for Graham Harrell. And once Harrell was able to get away from the pressure, a very easy throw for him for a big gain.
Will Muschamp's defense under fire. There's that inside shuttle pass. The Horns view that basically as a run, and that is Batch, number 25, the ball carrier on it. So Will Muschamp has to change up consistently. He's not faced a passing attack quite like this.
You give up some numbers in this conference when you face these kind of quarterbacks and these kind of offenses, but the key is being able to make plays when you have to be able to either prevent a touchdown and force a field goal or to be able to come up with a big turnover.
Trying to get through that wide gaps in pursuit of Harrell on the move. Right, and a diving reception at the 30-yard line. Crabtree making the grab, and the chains move again.
Another great example of Michael Crabtree working back to find Graham Harrell. Graham Harrell's going to scramble. He's going downfield to clear out the zone. He realizes his quarterback's in trouble, and how about the hands by number 5 to be able to pull that ball in?
What a great look at Crabtree. Bracketed. He took the corner, banged into him, and with those great big hands of his, snares it. Now Crabtree come out of the backfield. He'll run a circle to the left. Harrell can't find him open right away, so he moves to the right. And it'll be second down.
You touched on it. I said a little earlier about the importance of mixing up looks. When you have a veteran quarterback like Graham Harrell, again, it's every week in this conference you're talking about a quarterback that's starting his almost his 3rd year or 4th year as a starting quarterback. And when you have that kind of experience, it's like having a coach back there looking into these eyes of this defense, and it makes it easy to make adjustments.
It is like having a coach because he is son of a coach, played for his daddy over in Ennis, Texas, which is not too far from Dallas, Texas. And Mike Leach swears by his decision-making. That time, he almost made a mistake with Aaron Williams closing in. And Arakpo coming off that line. Now, the one thing to remember about the defensive linemen in a game like this, and I'm sure Muschamp and everybody on that defensive staff know this, when you pursue a quarterback as often as they do, you get to the 4th quarter, your tongue is hanging out.
When they throw as many screens as they throw, it's another reason that you get fatigued. That's why depth and rotating bodies in is so important when you're trying to defend these types of offenses. Another big 3rd down here.
Muschamp trying to overload the front, tries to get to Harrell, does not. Crabtree again rips away to the 12-yard line. The size of the hand and the strength of number 5.
This is called a back shoulder fade. This is designed to throw back to the backside. He's actually doing this on purpose. It makes it so hard for Beasley, who thinks he's going downfield, but the ball is thrown back behind the receiver. And what an advantage for the receiver knowing the ball will be thrown there. It's all about the timing again between Harrell and Crabtree.
Remember now, this drive was set up by the safety. That came on 3rd and 10. Already Crabtree with 3 receptions here tonight. Back to the running game with number 2, Woods. Beasley, he could have a busy night if they're going to keep coming at him over there, okay? He could say, Coach, I need a little more help over here. They're throwing at me. They're running at me.
This drive is, boy, just a great example of Texas Tech and how they can attack you in different ways. We'll see if they're able to finish off this drive. That's the key tonight. Can these offenses score when they get into the red zone and not have to settle for field goals?
Steps away from the pressure. Still waiting. Incomplete, and he had a touchdown, and Britton, who had a big game last year in Austin, couldn't hang on.
Graham Harrell showing that Colt McCoy is not the only quarterback who's somewhat nifty in the pocket. Gets away from Acho, and then Lewis dives. Now he's got all kinds of time, throwing way back all the way into the middle of the field, which is a no-no, but he's got his man there, and Britton just unable to hold on to it.
Batch checks into the backfield. Now we've got 3rd and 10. You know the Horns will be looking for number 5. They're well off the line. They're going to try to blitz Harrell. Can they get there? They cannot. Off the back foot, incomplete, and he was going for number 5. They put pressure on him that time. They hurried Harrell.
And Will Muschamp would tell you that that's as good as a sack. Even if you put pressure on him and it forces him to maybe throw it before he's ready, that's as good as a sack, especially on 3rd down.
Here's a big story. Young Matt Williams, who was 9 for 9 as a walk-on. He wasn't really a walk-on. Coach sent somebody in the stands to get him after he came out and hit that 30-yarder to earn a year's free rent over at the Linwood Condominiums. Players don't even know him as Williams. He's simply Linwood. Here it is, folks. His first field goal attempt, 29 yards. Rips it through. How about this young man? One of the stories of the year in college football. But now if you're the Longhorns, you're saying, okay, settle in. We gave up a safety, but only a field goal. That's a victory for the Horns.
No doubt about that.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Verizon Wireless. And the all-new 2009 H3T pickup. The most versatile Hummer ever.
After practice, basketball coach Pat Knight and his players handed out 550 Domino's pizzas to the Raiderville crowd last night. They were out there all week long. Started forming on Monday. And they are hooping and hollering now. 5-0. Donnie Corona. He'll kick it off. Fielded at the 12 by Cosby. Cosby looks a gap, and he's out to the 32. Let's go to Matt Weiner for our first update on this Saturday night. Matt, how you doing?
Thanks again. Don't forget, I'm here throughout the game to let you know what's happening, starting with this Taco Bell update. Nebraska and Oklahoma, classic rivalry turning into a classic rout tonight. The Sooners have a touchdown run, an interception return for a touchdown, and now 2 Sam Bradford touchdown passes, 28-0 midway through the first. Likewise, USC routing Washington in the third. Still in the chase, the Sooners, and how about the whipping that USC has given the Huskies here tonight. Third quarter, 42-zip. Now Colt McCoy's first pass of the night, and why not? He comes in having completed 82%. How about the impact, guys, Kurt?
Well, Colt McCoy has an arsenal of weapons. We've seen him these last 3 weeks. Jordan Shipley is on fire. 34 receptions in just the last 3 weeks. Quan Cosby on the other side. Unique ways of trying to get him the football. You just saw that. Keep an eye tonight on Fozzie Whitaker. He's been banged up. He will be in the game as this game goes on. And on the AstroTurf with his speed, he could be a factor.
Second down and 3. Inside shuttle pass. Ogbonnaya is short of the first down. On their first series, on the first play, as we see Cosby, who caught that pass, took a lick.
Hard-hitting game tonight. Colt McCoy in these last 3 weeks against Oklahoma and, of course, Missouri and Oklahoma State. How many times have we seen Texas answer when they've been challenged? We'll see if they can do it again on the road. This tough environment. Can they answer being down by 5?
3rd and 1, and they run Ogbonnaya, and it's going to be close. Tried to stick his helmet across that yellow line, which indicates first down, but they're not getting the spot there. Richard Jones and Brian Duncan. Duncan, number 57, is a very talented linebacker.
Somebody needs to get down in the huddle for the Texas team and talk to the offensive line, because these first 4 snaps, big advantage for Texas Tech with the intensity and battling up at the line of scrimmage.
And that win a year ago in Austin, 59-43. Colt McCoy rushed for 51 yards. As we take a look at this, inches away. And here we come.
Now, Mack Brown told us this week, of all the teams that he plays in the Big 12 against Texas Tech, because possessions are so key, he'll take more calculated risks against Mike Leach, go against the norm because of the importance of holding on to the football and scoring points.
Now here's the first one, and it's big. McCoy himself, remember, he got 51. He gets stood up. He gets stood up, but he may get the spot. They may indeed get the spot. Forward progress being indicated there by the line judge. And what do you think? Generous?
Well, if I'm Mike Leach, at the very least, I might request another look at this. It didn't look like Texas moved forward at all. You know, it looks like maybe he picks up about a foot and a half there, maybe to get the first down. But again, Texas Tech means business up front tonight.
I thought there was an early surge, Kirk, in which McCoy moved toward that first down, and then he gets thrown back. Let us take a second look. Right there. Now he gets pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great look at it right there. It's close, obviously. I don't know if it's going to be able to be changed just based on the spot, but at the end of the day, my point is Texas Tech up front right now is attacking Texas's offensive line.
Play fake. Incomplete. Should have been handled by Greg Smith, even though it was a touch high.
Most teams during this Colt McCoy streak of completing so many passes have decided to attack and have blitzed him quite a bit. Now, Texas Tech, their reputation is a bend but don't break defense. They would rather play zone, make you execute all the way down the field, and then get into the red zone and see if you can execute and put a touchdown on the board.
Big Ruffin McNeil, Kirk, took over as a defensive coordinator after 9 games last year. And he's been trying to bring the heat here tonight. Second down and 10. Rushed only 3 that time, and not a fumble. They'll rule that incomplete. Didn't have it long enough. Buckner was the intended receiver.
Rushing 3, dropping 8. You'll see both these defenses playing a bit of a cat and mouse game with the different looks. This is the area. He bobbled it, never had control, never had possession of it. This is the area where Colt McCoy has attacked the most. Inside the area where the linebackers in it, boxed area with Shipley and his other receivers. That time Buckner unable to hold on to it.
Loud, folks, real loud. 3rd and 10. Prior to the snap.
Prior to the snap. Delay game, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
The Longhorns are rattled early. Now, Mack Brown and the coaches are going to have to settle them down to get them in this rhythm. There's no question they're just a little bit off stride here. Gonna go deep, got a man open, and Shipley can't hold on. Folks, they're not executing for 3 straight weeks. They executed one play after another, and Colt McCoy took another lick.
They get pressure on Colt McCoy. Takes a little time for this play to develop. They lower the boom on him there. But I want you to look at one-on-one opportunity that Colt McCoy sees with his favorite target, Shipley, going up against Brent Nickerson. The ball's there. Very easily could have been a touchdown.
That was Daniel Howard who got in on the quarterback. Tucker. That running rugby punt, trying to get it on the ground as quickly as they can, and it's fielded dangerously by Wall at the 5-yard line. Williams down to make that stop. Tech leads it 5-0.
Mike, you're a friend of mine. You're a great coach. Don't do anything different. Just do whatever you've been doing, because whatever it is, it works. You're an amazing guy. Motivate those players. You may very well come out with a victory.
Donald Trump, a friend of Mike Leach. Leach touring New York with his family, paid a visit to his office unannounced. Later, Trump contacted him, and they've been telephone buddies ever since. They talked 2 days ago. Fumbled in the end zone. Is that a lateral? Incomplete. The line judge right there said forward pass incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. That punt, Kirk, was 60 yards, but that's a great story by Donald Trump.
Yeah, you talk about the strange of a couple. That's the odd couple right there. Another snap issue for Texas Tech. Harrell fortunate to be able to get a hold of this football. The snap's not that bad about it at his knees. He misses it, but look how quick Texas gets in there to put the pressure on the Graham Harrell.
Stephen Hamby bending over the ball now. on this 2nd down and 10. Back to the running play, and that's Roy Miller making the stop on Batch.
These 3rd downs have been interesting for Texas Tech so far tonight. Now they've hit 2 of 4. Will Muschamp continues to mix it up, showing different pressures, backing out, showing no pressure at all, and then bringing it. My guess is here, 3rd down, with Texas Tech backed into their own, close to their own end zone. Probably going to bring some kind of pressure here to try to force Graham Harrell out of the pocket.
Leach will throw going in and coming out. Going to go deep. Caught at midfield by Edward Britton. Remember, he dropped that one down on the goal line, but this time he comes up with a huge 3rd down play against Curtis Brown.
And Curtis Brown last week stepped in for Shockey Brown and did a great job against Des Bryant. But this gives you an idea of Texas Tech and how you get so caught up in Detron Lewis and Michael Crabtree, and then it's Britton, the speedster on the other side, that gets downfield and beats Curtis Brown for a big play.
Harrell has already thrown for 133 yards against the Horns defense. Raiders up 5, going again. On the move, he'll throw this one away, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. And let's go to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brent, our nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance comes from Florida State and Georgia Tech. The Seminoles threatening to take the lead in the final minute, but Cooper Taylor jarred the ball loose from Marcus Sims. Tech seals its first ever ACC win over Florida State. You can vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance starting tomorrow at 9 on ESPN.com.
Well, Mr. Herbstreit, I certainly hope you threw in Northwestern's winning play as a game-changing performance.
Wow.
That interception return.
Maybe play of the year.
There's Crabtree on that middle screen. Picks up about 9 and reaching down toward that ankle again. Remember, it's bothered him a little bit. Lisa gave us the report from down below.
You touched on it. Texas looks at this as part of the run game, and Texas Tech will continue to run different forms of the screen. It slows down the pressure from the defensive line coming after Graham Harrell, and it wears them down. It's just another wrinkle and another thing for the defense to have to deal with.
3rd and 2, and Woods back in as the running back. And now Harrell against this defense, who's going to back it up and give him the passing look. Great read by Graham. Slides to the 30-yard line. Graham Harrell saw that coming all the way.
What's interesting here, Brent, is Mack Brown talked about one of the main reasons Graham Harrell didn't end up going to Austin is because of his inability to run the football, or his desire to run the football. And now you see on a big 3rd down, Graham Harrell showing that, again, he can run the ball. And look at this. Who would have ever guessed in the first quarter that Texas would have the football for about 2.5 minutes?
Inside of 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. Play fake. Fires complete again. 8 more yards. Eric Morris, the senior.
People always want to know what's different about Mike Leach and his version of the spread. Of course, they spread you out from sideline to sideline. I think it's the way they utilize so many different weapons. Everybody is involved in being able to throw the football, and Mike Leach and his quarterbacks do a good job of not only spreading the field with formations, but actually throwing it to a number of different targets.
Second and 1. Here comes Batch. First down, plus to about the 15-yard line.
And this is the biggest difference for Texas Tech this year. You've got to be able to respect this. And the reason that's important, listen, they only run for 139 yards a game, but the fact that they're willing to do that is different this year. They can control the line of scrimmage with the line, and they have 2 backs that can run the football, and it slows down, again, the pressure eventually on Graham Harrell because the defense can't pin its ears back.
Got him on a delay here. Yeah, that cost him. Harrell saw it coming and tried to speed it up, but that late shift cost him time.
Texas Tech.
He got the timeout.
This is the first of the half.
Mike Leach
Number one.
So somebody on the sideline.
30-second timeout. 30.
Leach doesn't like burning one right there, but they did to save the 5. So we'll take a timeout here. A boxing coach who has saved countless kids from the streets, Sugar Ray Leonard. George Foreman. Oscar De La Hoya joined the Extreme team, an all-new Extreme Makeover Home Edition Sunday, 7 Central on ABC. Red Raiders going in. First down and 10. Time running out of the opening quarter. All day. Will they get the first down? There's a penalty flag. Comes flying. Morris was struggling to get it. At you. Is it a face mask?
That looked like Earl Thomas came in high as he was trying to come in to make a tackle.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 12. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
In fact, it was Thomas, but did a great job of sitting in the zone, finding the hole. Eric Morris. Once Thomas comes in, he grabs the side of the helmet very close to that face mask. They got him.
Will Harrell show Mac Brown again. He's a runner. He's run for a few touchdowns in this offense. Seconds ticking away, and it'll be Batch. Touchdown. Baron Batch with the evening's first touchdown.
Story of this first quarter, in my opinion, is Texas Tech controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
Matt Williams has already hit a field goal. 10 for 10. What a find. One night in the stands. Now he's one of the most popular players at Texas Tech. And we'll return after this message and word from our ABC stations. 27 plays in that first quarter for Texas Tech. 8 for the Longhorns. About 3 weeks back, the Horns fell down 11 to Oklahoma, and you know what happened on the kickoff. And Shipley is back deep with Cosby.
That's been their characteristic this year, this run of being ranked at the top of the heap in college football. They've always always had a big comeback and an opportunity to do that.
Here it comes. Shipley is out to the 20, and there's a penalty on the return. Let's go back to the touchdown, Kirk.
Brent, this is your kind of football. Watch the guards, just a little kick-out block right here, and a big block by the center to open this up for the running back, Baron Batch. Look at the line control things, and look how nasty this Texas Tech offensive line is. Watch Hamby, the center, right there in the middle, number 71. He locks up with McElroy, the leading tackler from Texas, takes him into the ground and buries him into the end zone, sends a message along with the block.
That's how Mike Leach described his offensive line in the last practice. He said nasty. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
They look nasty.
I was there. Nasty. So our Big 12 officiating crew, our referee Carl
During
Richards.
the return, illegal block in the back by the return team, number 81. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
The Longhorns are off stride here early. There is certainly no question. They just gave up a 10-play, 96-yard scoring play. They're down by 12. Colt McCoy and the staff searching for some answers.
So you say you want to be the #1 team. Let's show America why you're the #1 team. Let's see what happens.
That's McBath, who picked off 3 Kansas passes last week in that route up in Lawrence. Quick throw. Obanaya, who's a fine receiver. Out to the 14. We check him with Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brent, here's another nominee for the AT&T ESPN All-America Player of the Week. Oklahoma State receiver Dez Bryant has been great all season. 9 catches, 171 yards, and 4 touchdown grabs today in the Cowboys' rout of Iowa State. Text vote to 51234 on your AT&T wireless phone and cast your vote.
Second down and 3 for McCoy in the horns. He's going to try to run for it and not get there. Third down and is short. Whitlock cleaning up on the play. Big number 93.
Brent, I'm very, very impressed with Ruffin McNeil as a defensive coordinator and what he's been able to do with this Texas Tech defense early in this game, getting a lot of pressure with just 4. They're not being overly creative or complex with their scheme with how they're attacking. They're rushing with 4 and just winning the battle up front.
Former defensive back from East Carolina, McNeil is. Quarterback draw, they circle him and won't give it to him. McNeil had him squeezed, and Cisse, Brandon Cisse from Atlanta, Georgia, closed it down.
How would you like to be Colt McCoy running into this wall of jerseys? Look, a great job, especially this defensive line and the way they're getting in there. Cisse, you mentioned, and McNeil very excited with his performance and his effort right now by this defense.
3 and out. Tucker back to punt. There's that running rugby-like punt. Try to get it on the ground. Here's Wall. It's a beauty. That punt is going to roll dead inside the 20-yard line. A 66-yard punt. That's what Texas needed. You're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC. Can't find a ticket, so you take to the trees. Just like the old days, the knothole gang in baseball. Trying to get a peek here, the Red Raiders, and Graham Harrell pulls out and drops it off underneath to Woods. Woods, the running back's got 9 more before McElroy pulls him down. Now, Kurt, a look at the Pacific Life game summary. Pretty one-sided here.
Well, this is shocking at this point through a quarter in a couple of minutes. Graham Harrell having a great day, what you would expect, and the shocker is Colt McCoy. Not only that he's not having much production, he's sitting on the sidelines, not getting very many opportunities because of the way Graham Harrell is performing, and also just because Texas Tech keeps putting him to the sidelines.
Second down and 1. And here comes Woods for the first down, breaking to daylight. A different looking offense with that running game as Beasley brings Woods down.
It's just there's so many things you have to defend, and they do such a good job of giving different looks. It just makes the defense constantly on their heels with their heads moving back and forth, trying to speculate where the ball might be going. They do such a good job of mixing in just enough run with the pass.
Beasley, I believe, is shaken up on the play down at the 32-yard line, being tended to by the Texas medical staff. Well, that chase is on in Texas. You go over the speedway, the Dickies 500. Can anybody slow down Jimmy Johnson? Going for the three-peat. That would be something now. Coverage begins with NASCAR Countdown at 3 Eastern on ABC. There's your standings. And
so for a guy that doesn't really follow this, is that Jimmy Johnson, or is that the car, or is that the guy's changing tires?
All of the above. Okay. Jimmy Johnson, you know, at a certain point when those guys are on the edge, they make all the difference in the world. And for him to have won the last 2 chases, and now to be he's headed for the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He is a difference maker. But don't take anything away from that crew.
So it's
nothing away from the car. They do a great job. You know, really are. There's 3 races left for Jimmy Johnson to three-peat.
Okay, go Jimmy.
First down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. That inside handoff, breaking his Batch, who scored the game's first touchdown, muscling his way to midfield, and they continue to pound away on the #1 team in the country.
Here's great vision by Baron Batch. You're right, this offensive line, we've talked throughout this entire broadcast, they're controlling things, but it's just a vision, and then the cut back there by Batch, and it gives you an idea, once you make that first guy miss, there are such big seams because you're spread out so far in this defense. You break through that initial line of scrimmage, and you've got room to run.
Reed, Vasquez, Hamby, Carter, and Wynn. That's your offensive line. Harrell wide open in the middle is Swindle.
Put 3 receivers to the top. Great protection by the offensive line. Look at the linebackers. Gives you a great idea. McElroy's turning, looking to the left, looking to the right. By the time he realizes Swindle's going to come through his area, he's already by him in a huge spot right there again for Harrell to throw the football.
Play fake by Harrell. He's going to drop off another screen pass to Batch, and that one was read perfectly that time by Williams. We want to show you this offensive line. Rylan Reed, folks, at 6'7", 114 pounds. He spent 4 years in the Chicago White Sox organization as a right-handed pitcher. Luis Vasquez starting to grow up. Look at the size. Hamby, the smallest, at 287. Brandon Carter, he's Mr. Halloween over there, wants to be a pro wrestler. I mean, this is an NFL size offensive line. There's no doubt about it. And look what they're leading here, that time of possession, huh? Harrell, they give him time, can't find anybody open. You know, I'm impressed by Harrell buying time with his feet. Now, he doesn't take off downfield, but we've seen him move to the right, that time to the left. He buys extra time.
I'm equally impressed with when he buys time. The spacing of this offense is so important, and you can see that they work on him moving and getting out of the pocket and then not panicking as wide receivers, but they stay and find the openings in the zone and stay away from each other.
Kirk, they're 4 of 6 now on 3rd down. Need 14. Drops back to midfield. Fires, reaching for the first down and got it. Lyle Leong. Talk about a first down pitch. Going back near midfield before he finally unloaded, Kirk.
And this, what are you going to do here? You rush 4, you drop 7, you can't get pressure on him. It's a wall as an offensive line. He's just dancing around, waiting until somebody breaks open. And again, you go back to the relationship between the wide receivers, this case Leong, and the quarterback, Graham Harrell. They always know how to work back to Graham Harrell.
There it is. First down.
That's tough to cover a guy for 10 seconds.
So the mad scientist will dial up another one. Meanwhile, on the other side, when we talked to Muschamp, we said, are you at all concerned about this young secondary in deep against this passing attack? He snapped like this. They're sophomores. They've been around long enough now, but they are under assault here tonight. Low snap, picks it up, got a man wide open, touchdown! Eric Morris, his 5th touchdown of the season.
They call him Elf because he usually finds a space underneath the zone and makes plays a la Wes Welker, who used to do it here for Texas Tech. This time gets behind coverage and makes a big play.
And Matt Williams, the one-time spectator, tacks on another extra point. Red Raiders. Buddy Holly's hometown, Lubbock, Texas, and that center hosted 11 fine arts and music-related exhibitions. You can hear Peggy Sue in the background, can't you, folks? Kirk, you're too young for that, but that's one of the original rockers now, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw him in Back to the Future, maybe.
Texas turn again now. Here comes Shipley. Looking for daylight. Breaks free. Out to the 42-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
A little Eric Morris, a veteran receiver. Look at the timing between Harrell and the receiver, who, by the way, is 5'8" on an outcut and beating Curtis Brown, who's having a rough night tonight so far. Ball is thrown away from Brown. An easy catch, but a nice play by Eric Morris. And again, the weapons here. These guys remind me of just gym rats. They look like they just practice these routes over and over and over again, and they're just in rhythm and in sync right now in this game.
So far, just a tremendous performance by the Tech defense. Incomplete, and suddenly it is 2nd and 10.
We have not seen Colt McCoy and his Texas offense struggle like this all year. This is where you're tested. We've had a number of drops. The offensive line has been confronted and dominated by this Texas Tech defensive line.
3-man rush, and it is suddenly 3rd and 10.
I think he had a free play. May have.
Did they move?
I think Texas
offside?
Tech may have moved at the top, the defensive end.
Offside. Defense number 46. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That is the first penalty of the night against the Raiders, and that's a bit of a story. They are one of the most heavily penalized teams in the country. They went that entire first quarter without a penalty. Second and 5. Pump fake, nobody open. Forced to take it out of bounds, short of midfield.
Mack Brown, I'm sure, reminding his team the last time they came to Lubbock. Remember, they were down 21-0. Fought their way back into the game and eventually won 35-31. If I'm Mack Brown, I'm reminding his team, hey, we're a veteran team, long way to go, keep your poise.
Almost picked off. Charbonnet, Daniel Charbonnet, who transferred from Duke, almost picked it off.
This defense is incredibly well prepared, and what they've seen from Colt McCoy and the success that they have had in these last few weeks, sitting on routes, knowing what's coming before it even comes. We've seen Colt McCoy in these last 2 or 3 weeks make every single throw. He's making the same throws. The difference is Texas Tech is all over his receivers.
This is the 2nd consecutive 3-and-out for the Horns. This will mark 3 straight punts after yielding a safety on the first play from scrimmage. And this one will go out of bounds, and it'll be marked on the 13-yard line. The #1 team in the nation under fire, Lubbock, Texas. Well, that opening drive, Tech punted. That set up the safety. Then in their next 3, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. And now they've got it again, coming out short of the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. A flanker screen with Crabtree. Another 1st and 10. Put it down. There's a fumble. Horns are signaling that they've got it.
Mack Brown's right in the middle.
Williams came away with it. Aaron Williams. Wow.
Big play. saying Texas is football. Another big play for Texas Tech, Brent. Crabtree makes his catch. He gets downfield, and then he gets hit. The ball is away from his body. The ball is out. And it lands right on top of a Texas defender.
Kendall, watch Kendall, the linebacker, number 2, move in on the ball. Watch him rip it.
And then I think it lands right, it bounces right into his stomach.
Then Williams jumps over there. Aaron Williams jumps on the ball and recovers it. So now their best field position of the night, their best opportunity to climb back in the middle of it. Ogbonnaya will run on 1st and 10. Crabtree being consoled by one of the coaches on the sideline over there.
Could be the big play that Texas needs to spark this team. The thing that I want to talk about Texas has to do is run the football. This is the first time this year we have seen a lack of a running game from Texas hurt them in a football game. Texas Tech has 2 safeties that are deep. Look at them right here. When you have 2 safeties that are deep, you've got to run the football.
And Ogbonnaya does just that. Runs it for a 1st and 10. McBath comes up from one of the safety spots to make the tackle.
If I'm Mack Brown and I'm Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, I'm talking to that offensive line and saying, guys, enough is enough. We've got to control the line of scrimmage. If they're going to play with 2 safeties back, we can't throw the football downfield. We have to run the ball, which means you've got to win your blocks up front.
Safeties are well off that line of scrimmage again, and being stretched wide this time. Ogbonnaya didn't have a chance. Charbonnet kept him outside that time and did a very good job.
I think you have to hit right now. You cannot take so much time to develop a play. When you get a big turnover, you've got great field position, you have an offense that's been sluggish. Those first 2 plays, I think, are exactly what Texas needs to do. Run right into the Texas Tech defense, north and south. You can't bounce out to the outside in a slow developing play. This defense is moving too fast.
But now it's 2nd and 13. McCoy might be looking downfield here. He is. Off a play fake. And he's in trouble again. Sacked by Brandon Williams, the junior from Fort Worth, Texas, number 84.
Again, this defense well prepared. When Colt McCoy drops back to pass, they are taking away every option. The safeties coming in, not feeling any threat downfield. They're able to come up and help on the crossing routes. The linebackers and corners are taking away the receivers to the outside. Colt McCoy has nobody to throw the football to.
Third and 16. Can't find anybody. Steps away. Thrown down at the 28-yard line by Williams again.
What an impressive effort by this Texas Tech defense. This is where Colt McCoy has been making plays in these last 3 weeks against very good defenses. Feels the pressure, okay, gets away from it. Now we're used to seeing him run away from the defense and make a play. He had an open receiver downfield, but Marlon Williams, coming from the backside with the speed, takes McCoy down.
Here's Hunter Lawrence. And the horns are on the scoreboard. 5:27 to go here in the first half. They trail it 19-3. Kirk Herbstreit trying to sneak a peek. He knows what's coming. All right, Kirk, 7 quarterbacks in NCAA history have thrown for more than 5,000 yards in a season. How many have been coached by Mike Leach? There are 7. How many of them has the mad scientist coached? Get your hands away from that text messaging machine. I'm going to cancel your AT&T call.
Oh, man.
Ball on the tee. 19-3. Enjoying it so far, but a long way to go. Going out of bounds. And let us go to Matt Weiner in New York for an update. Matt.
All right, Brent, a Verizon Wireless update on another prolific quarterback, BYU's Max Hall. His team down 4, less than 30 seconds left. Hall delivers it to Dennis Pitta. 5-yard strike, his 5th touchdown pass of the night. Cougars have just held on 45-42. They're 8-1.
I'm at it here. The Red Raiders lead the #1 team in the nation. Texas Longhorns 19-3. 5:27 to go in the first half. Let's see, the Texas Tech offense 280 yards to 21 yards for the Longhorns so far. So the story of this game really has been the performance of the Red Raider defense. They always expect the Red Raider offense to move the ball, which they certainly have done. Completing it outside, short of a first down. And all right, Kirk, how many do you think of the 7?
Yes, I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
say 4.
Pretty close, my friend. Pretty close. Okay, it has been 3. Ooh. Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay.
B.J. Simmons, and of course Graham Harrell. For a bonus answer, do you know some of the others?
I'm including Harrell from this year. That's what I said. How about, I'm going to say Andre Ware? Maybe?
No.
Klingler?
Klingler, definitely. David Klingler. With a 1990 over there in Houston way, 5,140 yards. That's one of them. One of them very recently. There's Crabtree. Steps out with the first down and holds on to the ball. So here is the entire group, okay? There you have it. Ty Detmer, Cole.
Yeah, Cole.
And you got
Paul Smith at Tulsa last year.
Yep. Here's your list.
That's a great group.
Man, how about that?
And that's
Leach has coached 3 of them.
That's why Mike Leach continues to recruit quarterbacks who love to throw.
And you hear time to time a few rumors about Washington. That job now open. What would he be like in the Pac-10? Grew up in Cody, went to school at BYU, and here's his running attack with Woods down to the 32-yard line.
Boy, this offensive line is just taking control of the game. Reed with a nice block on a Rakpo, and then look at him get to the second level. Great blocking and great play calling by Mike Leach. This Texas defense is completely on its heels.
Again with Woods for another first down and into the red zone.
And this is the aspect. This is different. This is very different. If you're not familiar with Mike Leach and you're watching him for the first time, you're seeing this balance. You're seeing this running game. They haven't had this in the past. They're running the football right now and controlling things up front. And now they'll go back to the bread and butter and be able to throw the ball. They're going to close in on 100 yards rushing maybe before this half's up.
Yeah, they only need 30 yards to do that. They could have 100-yard rushing here in the first half. Batch, who scored the touchdown, breaks the tackle by Kendall. Gets back for a yard. Let's check in down below with Lisa.
Well, Brent, you know how Kirk is always talking about body language. The Texas offense is over here sitting on the bench looking absolutely shell-shocked. Earlier in the quarter, Colt McCoy was going up and down to the offense, trying to rally his troops, telling them, look, they're not doing anything special, nothing we haven't seen before. We just got to play our game. So far, though, Texas hasn't responded. Brent?
They'll be reminded not only of the comeback that Kirk told you about, but what happened last year in Austin. They came from behind and overpowered the Red Raiders in the fourth quarter. Carroll complete to Crabtree again.
I love the look of Michael Crabtree. We saw him last year. Look how physical he is, just pushing Brown to the side, makes the catch, and this is what separates him. He never gives up. He's physical, he's athletic, and he has desire. Right? Reminds me, everybody who's been an analyst of this guy says it reminds me of Andre Johnson, the great Miami Hurricane, who's now with the Houston Texans. I love him when he doesn't have the ball. He's willing to block. Just a total package.
On third down, here comes pressure. And they almost got one, and wrestling it away from Aaron Williams was Eric Morris.
Talking about a good-looking prospect, Aaron Williams, number 4 for Texas. This time sitting on a route himself, not allowing Eric Morris to be able to make this play.
They will not go for the field goal here. Mike Leach has dialed up a 4th and 4. First down marker right at that 10-yard line. And now Harrell pulls back out. Did not draw him offside. We'll see if Leach sends young Williams out onto the field to attempt another field goal. So here is Matt Williams, who earned the kicking job, winning a contest for a year's free rent a few weeks back. And when Leach was notified that he was eligible to play, put him in uniform, hit 9 extra points last week against Kansas, has already hit a field goal in this game. And he rips a 31-yarder. Holy Toledo.
Guys, because he just steps in, no problem.
I saw some signs at game day saying he was the player of the year. Matt Williams for Heisman was up there.
What
and
an amazing story.
Of course, on election eve, Monday Night Football, it's the Steelers and the Redskins in Washington. Halftime, Chris Berman will speak with John McCain and Barack Obama in their last national interviews. So it'll be the Steelers and the Redskins under Jim Zorn seem to have put it back together again. I think after watching him in the first game, we thought, what's he doing as a head coach? But you know what? They're pretty good now.
Yeah, Jason Campbell's doing a nice job of controlling the game, and I think Zorn being there probably has helped him a lot mentally. But I'm a Bengals fan, so the NFL season's been over for me for about 5 weeks now.
They won't go 0-16.
Oh, I hope so.
Won't go 0-16.
It's always the draft, right? I've been saying that for 20 years.
Well, they can trade Ocho Cinco or whatever he calls himself and take this Crabtree. Get him in there, okay?
Right. Look at this. Look at this.
Numbers tell you the story, folks. The mad scientist had dominated this one, and he's got a fine quarterback. Son of a coach. We'll be seeing him on NFL football someday. No question about that. He'll get a shot. He's a good-looking player. Minute 37 to go. Back in the end zone and taking a knee is Williams. Now let's go back to New York. Matt Weiner for a Sports Center right now. Matt.
Hi, Brent. Sports Center right now, powered by Vizio. Tim Tebow had 3 rushing touchdowns today to put himself atop Florida's all-time list. To add to that, he threw for 2 more. All Gators who hammered Georgia today in the worst loss of Mark Richt's career. Tebow may be creeping up those Heisman charts again, guys.
Yeah, that's interesting because Colt McCoy, who came in the leader, he's faded a little bit here in the first half, obviously, but don't overlook Graham Harrell.
Graham Harrell, if he's able to hold on and win here, but Tim Tebow took a big step.
And Colt's got plenty of time. If they can strike, they start off with a screen open eye, and what a defensive performance. Marlon Williams has been all over the field for the Raiders.
Sitting up here in his first half, I see one team that's hungry, that's playing with desire, that's in black, and another team that looks lost, that's dressed in white.
McCoy steps away from the pressure and takes off his best run of the night. Out to the 44-yard line. He's got 1:04 to work with.
And this is the first time we've seen Colt McCoy have some room to step up in the pocket. He was almost sacked there by Dixon, but he's able to pick up valuable yardage.
27 yards on that run by McCoy. Now he comes back with another first down as he strikes to Brandon Collins. Brandon makes the reception.
Gives him depth at receiver along with Malcolm Williams. Colt McCoy very comfortable in this, obviously. Still has 3 timeouts now, down at 52 seconds as the clock stops for the first.
So the Red Raiders call a timeout, and one of the things that their coach McNeil said is you've got to keep rested rushmen on the field. Coming up now, the Capital One halftime report. We'll have all the scores and highlights. John, Craig, and Doug, and it's been a busy day. One of the great plays of the day was Northwestern, as it appeared that game was headed for overtime up in Minneapolis, and ball off a face mask, intercepted, touchdown.
And it looked like Minnesota at that point in the game was just killing the clock, just trying to get out of it. I was surprised that they were still throwing with the ball deep in their own territory.
Meanwhile, our friend Brett Bielman is going to be under a little bit of heat about the management of the clock and what went on in that last second loss to Michigan State. I'll tell you that. Give
Dino Mark D'Antonio a lot of credit for getting back and finding a way to win that one. They stole one today from Wisconsin.
First down and 10. McCoy's got time, and it's dropped again. This time it's Cosme. No, check that. That was Collins. Check that. That was Brandon Collins who put that one down.
I think Texas, that's about their 4th drop here in the first half. This receiving group, usually very reliable. Ball is perfectly thrown. Collins looking where he wanted to go before he caught the football.
46 seconds for Colt on the horns. Steps away from the pressure, dumps it in underneath to Shipley, and Shipley's got 1st and 10 out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That was McBath. That's his first of the night. It looked like Shipley had a touchdown earlier in the game and let it get away from him.
Yeah, there was a flag down.
Personal foul. Offense, number 74.
Oh, my goodness.
Hands to the face. 15-yard penalty.
That's the left
second down.
Ulatowski.
And he's got one of the better pass rushers going up against him on this defense. McKenna Dixon off to the far left. Gets his hands up right in the face mask. Locks onto it. And a huge gain. Now Texas steps way back. Yeah, it's a good call, an obvious call. But Shipley puts them at least in field goal range. Now they're back to their own 39-yard line. Still 3 timeouts left.
Texas without 75 yards of offense in the first half in this game. Incomplete. Intended. And Brian Duncan. And that was Shipley going for another one.
Here's another example of this defense taking away the inside route. How many times have we seen Texas throw the ball in that area where linebackers and safeties have a tough time not allowing the receivers to get to the middle of the field? These guys, they are sitting on those routes. And that time they just knocked it. Duncan just knocked it away.
Horns call a timeout with 35. And Kirk, you know, maybe the folks were right when they said Texas Tech has got a better defense this year. Certainly what we've seen here in the first half.
People that aren't familiar with Texas Tech, you got to understand, this is a team that's been averaging 8 wins under Mike Leach since he's been here. Back in August, with the veteran leadership that they had returning, with a 3-year starting quarterback, a better defense, a better running game, they felt in August this was their year to get by Texas, to get by Oklahoma, to go to the Big 12 championship. So it's not a shock to their fan base. They expected this kind of run. But what they've done in this first half, I'll tell you, for me, I'm shocked to see them at this point up 22-3, possibly as we get ready here for halftime.
Third and 25. Got one-on-one on that far side. And it's snared. That was Williams. And what a great reception, working one-on-one on that far sideline for 44 yards.
And it's Nickerson again. Earlier in this game, Texas got behind him. The ball's just thrown up high, and you have Malcolm Williams at 6'3", going up and over Brent Nickerson that time, and it's a huge catch for Texas.
Three-man rush. And they sack.
Got to use a timeout
Coy with a three-man rush.
Ruffin McNeill telling us we not only have to get the pressure off the edge with our defensive ends, we've got to be able to get a push in the middle. They rush three, and then a fourth defender comes in late. But look at the speed. It's forcing Colt McCoy to step up. Now, he trips over his own guy, but the reason is there's a linebacker pushing him right back into the face of Colt McCoy.
Yeah, Chris Hall was the lineman that he tripped over. Texas with one timeout. That's a telling stat in how well the Red Raiders have played defense here in the first half. Moving the pocket to the right. Fires back middle, incomplete. Third and 13 coming up with 16 seconds and one timeout. Mac checking that clock. At the very least, he wants to get out of here with a second field goal.
Well, he has to. Boy, it makes it so easy for a defense when you can consistently get after the quarterback by rushing three and sometimes four, and you create havoc for Colt McCoy. Boy, it makes it easy to be able to cover with 7 or 8 defenders against the receivers.
McCoy not hitting even 50%. That inside shuttle pass. Ogbonnaya. He'll step out of bounds, but he's across the 10-yard line.
He didn't get out of bounds.
He did not get out of bounds. They're going to have
timeout.
to use this last timeout to get the field goal team out. I don't think he got the first down.
Now, he's a yard short, and he didn't get out of bounds. Mack Brown had to call that timeout from the sidelines.
It was clearly out of bounds.
Ogbonnaya has some room to work with here. Picks up a block by Tanner. And I'll tell you, if Buckner does a better job there blocking against Nickerson, I think it makes it easier for Ogbonnaya to make a quicker decision to either get out of bounds or get upfield. He's in bounds there.
That's a great tackle. The ball there at the 8-yard line. 6 ticks of the clock.
You got to take the points. McCoy will stay on the sideline.
No question. We'll try to make this 22-6 here. Put you down 2 scores. Remember, with the 2-point conversions, you get yourself down to 16 right here. So Lawrence already made a 43-yarder here tonight. And this one a 25-yarder. Nails it. That's manageable. But tonight they look anything but the #1 team in the nation. Fielded at the 4-yard line and a gap to the 25-yard line, and that's where Colt McCoy is. We show you the Southwest Airlines playbook. First snap of the game, folks. First offensive play was a safety, and they just took it from there.
I think it set the tone. Texas Tech controlled the line of scrimmage defensively. They've been chasing Colt McCoy around. Texas hasn't been able to run the ball consistently. And on the other side, Texas Tech has been able to run. They have been able to protect Graham Harrell, and even when they've gotten pressure on Harrell, he's found his receivers downfield. Complete domination in that first half by the Red Raiders.
Stopped again by this Raider defense. Just how good has this defense been here tonight against the Texas offense? Well, let's compare what's going on with what they've accomplished in your Pacific Life game summary throughout the season. Scoring 45 points a game, tonight only 6. Rushing for almost 200 yards, tonight only 31. Passing for 300, tonight only 68. Third down, 59% on the year. Tonight only 1 of 7. Whitaker is going to see some action here as they snap it off to Kirkendall, and that appears to be a Horn first down.
You look at those numbers and you think, how? How has Texas Tech been able to come up with some kind of magic formula to be able to stop Colt McCoy? We touched on it the entire broadcast. They've gotten pressure with their front four. It's allowed them to keep 7 defenders in space to defend Colt McCoy's receivers.
McCoy keeps it, and he's going to get ripped down by Whitlock.
When you dominate the line of scrimmage, you negate playmakers, and that's what they've been able to do. Whitlock this time gets penetration. McCoy comes off of the play fake to Whitaker. You're not supposed to see a defensive tackle when you come off of a play fake. You're trying to get to the outside. The last thing you're thinking about is Whitlock at 290 pounds getting by your offensive guard.
2nd and 12. They drop it in now to Shipley, trying to set him loose on the screen. Whitlock again making a stop. There is one story I want to update everybody on. Throughout the week in Austin, number 6 Quan Cosby wore a green jersey. That means when you work for Mac Brown and you're in green, that means you're injured. So all week long, he wore the green in Austin. And that hurts them here tonight if he's not at full strength. 3rd down and 7. Under pressure again, drops it off, incomplete. That was Dixon. And McCoy taking a licking here tonight at the hands of the Red Raiders.
It's pretty good pass protection, but look at the receivers. It's however many receivers you can see. Try to find an open receiver. There's nobody open. Everybody is covered by Texas Tech, and eventually the Raiders get to Colt McCoy because he has nobody to throw to. And again, it's the big fella Whitlock who finishes the deal and comes right on top of Colt McCoy.
Tucker back to punt. And running rugby punt and putting it on the ground. Eric Morris lets it roll. It's going to be downed. He was in the end zone with his hand on it, though. But they're going to mark it right there.
It's where the football is.
Yep. In the NFL, they have
it's a different
rule.
deal. It's a different deal.
Let's take a look at it now. This is a 61-yard punt. Williams has downed it right there. This ESPN telecast available in high definition on ABC HD. Well, the Red Raiders are backed up to their own 1-yard line. But remember now, in the first quarter, they had a 96-yard drive. And Colt McCoy has been taking a licking. Woods slips out for a couple of yards, and let's go back and look at this.
Look, we talked about how they got pressure on him, and if you look closely as he steps up, Whitlock comes up and underneath with all of his weight, comes right on the chin of Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy walked off to the sideline, but since he's been on the sideline, he's been a bit dazed, spitting blood. Trainers checking him out.
2nd down and 8 for the Raiders. Woods trying to sweep left, and this will put it 3rd and short.
Big time play that time by Bobineau. Able to get through there and get a hand on Woods to slow him down. But this is where Texas Tech, Brent, had so much success in the first half. They were 5 of 8 on 3rd down situations. We'll see if they start this second half with similar success. A lot of times he was able to break to the outside and buy time and eventually find open receivers.
Harrell's been sacked only 1 time tonight. 3rd down and 3. Keeping on the ground short. And it's going to be 3 and done on this drive, and that could set up the Horns. McElroy makes the play defensively.
Brent, one of the first times we've seen the entire football game, the Texas defensive front taking control, and that's why Will Muschamp is fired up. That's a great way for him and his side of the football to start the second half, control things up front, and negate any kind of running lane at all for Woods.
That's the first 3 and out. of this game for Texas Tech. LaCour. And with Cosby injured, Shipley fields it at the 45. This is going to be great field position for the Horns. He's got an alley. There is a penalty flag down. As he goes into the end zone, there is a flag at the 30-yard line.
There was a questionable block there, Brent, and I didn't know if Texas's player got his head on the right side of the shoulder or not. It was close.
There is no foul for illegal block in the back. The action was legal.
Touchdown, Shipley. A 45-yard punt return.
And just like in Dallas a few weeks ago against the Oklahoma Sooners, Shipley comes up with a huge return, and this is the block that I thought was a bit of a gray area, and I thought that's where the flag might have been, but they picked it up and said no foul. And once he got to the outside, of course, with his quickness, he gets to the outside and scores a touchdown. But Jordan Shipley, the leader, steps up and makes a huge play for the Longhorns.
Now Lawrence on to attempt the extra point. Remember, way back in the early going in this game, Shipley dropped what might have been a touchdown pass. But this time, he takes the punt in. Lawrence tacks on the extra point, and it's 22-13. The stage is set in Lubbock. You are watching Saturday Night Football on ABC.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Verizon Wireless. And introducing the 2009 Cadillac Escalade Hybrid.
Ever see a coach's office like that, folks? It's filled with pirate paraphernalia. That's right. Mike Leach, he loves Bartholomew Roberts, Calico Jack Rackham, Henry Every, and everybody's favorite pirate, Blackbeard.
Looks a lot like Matt Brown's office in Austin, right?
That pirate over there, he'll talk to you, too, if you go up there and he's turned on now. So the special team gives Texas a huge lift with this punt return by Shipley for a touchdown.
When we go back to that game, remember, Oklahoma had a lead and started to take control of this football game, and just when it looked like Oklahoma might pull away, who else? Jordan Shipley comes up with a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown that put the Horns back in that football game and changed the momentum completely around. Fast forward 3 weeks later, now in Lubbock, can't get anything going. On the road, you're down 22-6. Who comes up with a big play again? Jordan Shipley.
Now, big series for Graham Harrell. Last one was 3 and out and set up that punt return for a touchdown. The Horns will be playing with some fresh emotion now. On first down, he puts it in Morris's hands.
Shipley makes the return here. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about that block in the middle of the field by the freshman Earl Thomas. Initially, you see the flag coming in. And of course, they picked it up. I like what Mike Leach did on that first play, Brent. They ran 3 straight times on that 3 and out. This time they come back, put the football back into the hands of Graham Harrell, and try to find their receivers in space.
Batch is the running back. Harrell under center will give it to him. And he bangs straight ahead for the first down. McElroy making the stop. McElroy made a big stop on that 3rd down to force that punt. So number 38 came up big, and a little bit slow to get up there is Mr. Carter.
Something to keep in mind as this game moves forward. We've talked a lot tonight about Texas Tech controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides. It'll be interesting to see which team is in better shape. does fatigue start to set in for either side of the ball, especially up front for Texas Tech or Texas.
Harrell down the middle, and he's got Crabtree. Crabtree finds another hole, and he's having a good night against him as Gideon makes the play.
They clear the receiver, some of the receivers on the inside, clear it out, and then you know that Michael Crabtree is going to come right over the middle of that defense. The linebackers are occupied to the outside, opening up a huge window for Crabtree.
That's Arakpo, who is down, the All-American defensive end for the Horns. They can ill afford to be without him very long. He's down at the 22-yard line.
You hate to see that. He means as much to the Longhorn defense as Colt McCoy does to the Longhorn offense as far as playmaking ability and leadership.
Seem to be working on that left leg. Let's see what he
looked like.
Hyperextended it a little bit is what it looked like, and he grasped at it right away. There was a look of concern there. This is one of his true warriors. He added a little boxing to his arsenal to work on giving him some hand speed. Puts up a ton of weight in weight room, and it's nice to see him walk off here, Herbie, putting a little bit of weight on that, you know?
Yes, it is.
A little gimpy. So remember Cosby, and Lisa sending up word that it's doubtful that Cosby will be able to come back for the offense, and now we'll have to keep an eye on Arakpo. First down and 10. So Henry Melton, who was a running back for several years, one of the defensive ends, they throw a little bit high to Crabtree. Now I want to talk tonight about the big receivers that they've been in the arena. Macklin for Missouri, they held him to 8 catches, 66 yards. Des Bryant a week ago in Austin, 6 for 74. Tonight already, Crabtree has as many catches as Macklin and more yards.
Who would you take of those three?
Michael Crabtree.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But you've got to, you know, take a deep bow to Macklin's speed. Macklin has better top-end speed than Crabtree has. Second down and 10. Quick strike on the outside. That's Leong again. Now, we've talked about the second half, all right? Outscored opponents 164 to 80, all right? And tonight, trailing at the half for only the second time this season. So they have been one of the better second half teams in college football this year. Here's your third down. Muschamp's got heat. Miller's on him. And that's short of a first down, incomplete. They're forced to punt. Muschamp's defense has come alive here in the second half.
Coming alive up front, and even with Arakpo down, the leadership has to be now stepped up by Roy Miller, 99, and that's exactly what he's able to provide, is stepping up and going right by Brandon Carter. It's a one-on-one battle, get him into the inside move, and then uses the speed to the outside, and Graham Harrell, one of the few times we've seen him have to get rid of the football.
So the Riverboat Gamblers at it again. Fourth down and 3. No sign of a punter this time. Let's see if they're trying to draw him off again here. Looks like that's what they were trying to do, and he'll come on over. Give him 5 more yards for the punter. LaCour trots back out.
Second time, Brent, you touched on it. Texas's defense, the adjustments, and I don't know if it's huge adjustments. I think it's the intensity that's changed on the Texas defensive line. I think they're calling a lot of the same schemes. They're just now getting after Graham Harrell. They're winning on third down.
Shipley is back deep again. They went after this punt, and I believe they got a piece of it. It's going to roll down just inside the 20-yard line regardless, but enormous heat applied by Williams. Take a look and see if they didn't get a piece. Yes, he did. Timeout. Tough hombre. Colt McCoy. Never been a better named quarterback. Austin, 9 of 18. A year ago, he was 21 of 30 for 268 with 4 touchdowns against Texas Tech. Having a tougher go here tonight. Shipley, Collins, and Buckner are the wideouts. Cosby still sitting out. Juggled out of bounds. No question. Collins was juggling as it goes out of bounds. Let's check in with Lisa down below.
Well, Brent, not good news for the Texas Longhorns. Their leader on defense, Brian Orakpo, they're calling it a left knee injury. He will not return. Brent?
No, that's tough.
Yep.
I mean, you feel for that young man right there. He's one of the best in the game. Let's hope it is not serious. 2nd down and 10. And the whistle just prior to the snap. And that's
prior
illegal
to the snap. False start offense. Number 63. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
It's Michael Huey who has moved into that offensive line. He gets a lot of snaps. Kyle Hicks, Huey, Chris Hall, Charlie Tanner, and Ulatowski. Harrell watching from the Red Raider sideline.
Let's keep watching the battle up front where Texas Tech dominated in that first half.
On 2nd and 15, the line gives him time. Here's Shipley.
The late flag come in the backfield, and Texas Tech clapping. You assume that would be a hold.
Holding. Offense number 74. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat 2nd down.
Ulatowski's had his hands full.
To our right, to left of the offensive line, just gets beat to the inside, and then he was already down. Richard Jones was already down in his hands and knees, and then Ulatowski came on top of him, and that's when the late flag came in. Jones had no chance of getting to McCoy there.
Steps up, intercepted, picked off by Charbonnet, and Charbonnet scores. Williams continues to be perfect as the Red Raiders' new kicker.
Charbonnet is right here. He's going to sink in coverage and then retreat. By retreating, I think he was able to get into the lane, and I think Colt McCoy expected him to fall into the flat. Charbonnet comes up with his 5th interception. When he makes it, he knows to get to the end zone. And how about Texas Tech? An opportunistic defense. 15 interceptions on the year. They're 3rd in the nation, so they get their chances, they capitalize.
It's November, folks. Here comes BCS chaos. Just when you think you got it figured out, the ghosts appear. 29-13. Still plenty of time now for the Horns, but they have been under heavy pressure here tonight. Their lone touchdown is a punt return. They do not have an offensive drive for a score. They had to settle for a couple of field goals if you weren't with us in the first half. this game is reverberating from Gainesville to Tuscaloosa, to State College, all around the country now. And the chaos that began last year in November. You can take a look at all of the things that unfolded. Just when you think you've seen it all, huh, Kurt?
And you know it's going to happen. You just don't know when and where. It happens every year. But you just made a point about this one's far from over. Still 7.5 minutes to go. But if it's going to turn, Colt McCoy's leadership and that offensive line better start blocking people, because Texas Tech is coming after number 12 right here.
Play action gave him time, and he overthrew his receiver. 2nd down and 10. Of course, near the end of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Big challenge for Colt McCoy in Texas right now is not trying to get it all back right away. They've got to stick with their plan and not press and not force the issue, or that plays right into the hands of Texas Tech and their defense.
4 straight incompletions, and so they stay on the ground this time with Fozzie Whitaker. This is some fired-up group that Ruffin McNeil has put on the field defensively for the Red Raiders here tonight. There's Ruffin right there. Took over, remember, with 9 games remaining, and he was the defensive coordinator down the stretch.
Got a lot of energy. He said he streamlined the defense. He wanted the guys to play fast, have fun, be aggressive. They're doing that tonight.
They settle back into a 3-man rush. They have changed that front all night. Complete for the 1st down. He snaps off a strong throw that time to Malcolm Williams. Malcolm's been a good special teams player tonight, too.
Malcolm Williams is going to have to step up along with Brandon Collins. Kirkendall, just because of the injury to Cosby, he gets time, but he gets hit again. And those hits take a toll on any quarterback, including Colt McCoy. Williams with a nice catch there.
There's a pitch to Whitaker. Now to the 38-yard line.
Well, Whitaker could be a good addition here late in this game because of his quickness. Coming out of camp back in August, they felt he was the guy. But he's battled through some knee injuries. He is now healthy. He's had a great week of practice. And on this AstroTurf, because of his speed, he gives them a home run threat in the backfield.
1st down. Buckner.
This is where the poise of this Texas team, and of course the quarterback Colt McCoy, are big time tested. We talked all week about this being the end of a 4-week run of Oklahoma and Missouri and Oklahoma State. And when they have enough gas left in the tank to go to Lubbock and deal with Texas Tech, probably the toughest game of the 4.
On 1st down, Shipley again picking up about 11 yards on that play and out of bounds. Mack tried to portray it to his players as the first of another cycle, not the last of the last cycle. But you know, physically, it has to take its toll. Let's just consider the fact that Cosby is watching from the side, not playing for Mack. Now he's lost Orakpo for the night, and this is worn away on the horns. And a timeout, the first of the half, called here by Texas Tech. And of course, and we take a look at our quarterback comparison, our 2 Heisman Trophy candidates, and
it's not a misprint.
No, that's exactly what's happened here tonight.
What's happened is Texas Tech, which has really shocked me, Brent, is by winning the battle up front with their defensive line against Texas's offensive line, they've kept 2 safeties at about 15 yards. And when defenses do that, a good offense will run the football into that look. But because they're losing the battle up front, Texas Tech is kind of having it both ways. They're controlling things and also protecting themselves against any big plays in the pass game. So Texas has either had to run the ball or try to just nickel and dime this Texas Tech defense down the field, and they've not been able to execute well enough to move the ball consistently down the field. Give all the credit to the front of this Texas Tech defense.
Play fake by McCoy, and he's going to be sacked again. That is the 4th sack of the night. Brandon Williams brings him down. That's his 2nd.
Just got done talking about what's happening. This isn't an elaborate blitz scheme. It's 4 guys just going right by the offensive linemen of Texas. Desire, hunger. Texas Tech wants this football game, and so far this entire night, they're showing it with the way this defense is playing.
Now they start that action to the right and bring Whitaker back the other side. You know, the one player, and they've been waiting for him because he's a JC guy, is Dixon. And Dixon is causing a lot of trouble down there as McNeil continues to rotate in defensive linemen.
They're staying fresh. Brent, you talked about the importance of that. Ruffin McNeil telling us that Dixon, 7 sacks coming into the night, has power and quickness. Brandon Williams, 8 sacks coming into the night. Great tandem, and they're keeping fresh because they're constantly coming on and off the field.
3rd and 8. Incomplete. And it will be 4th down coming up for the Horns.
That is a long throw and a tough throw for Colt McCoy.
I would think that Mack is thinking about going here. He's at the 42-yard line. The problem is if you fail, giving this offense a short field. But Mack's thinking down 16. I got to go here.
Shipley's in the slot right here, Brent. See if they try to get him the football.
A quick kick, the 2nd of the year by McCoy. The 2nd time he's done it. And there is a penalty flag down at the 41-yard line.
I don't know if they had enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation and offense, only 6 men on line of scrimmage. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, 1st down, Texas Tech.
So the mad scientist says, "Oh, forget about that. Let's take the ball and let's go to work. I don't care. Where are we here?" He's a beauty. He's one of our all-time favorites, folks. They had nobody in the game quite like Mike Leach. Every coach will tell you that. Every player will tell you that. And all he does is put tons and tons of points up on that scoreboard. Kind of a perfect fit, isn't it? Mike Leach here in Lubbock with Texas Tech. Yeah, it'd have to be a real good job to get him out of here.
No, this Texas defense has stepped up twice to force Graham Harrell to the sidelines. We'll see what happens here the 3rd time.
Kendall's coming. And a perfect strike with a penalty flag thrown on the play as Lewis, the receiver,
time that umpire throws
foul. Offense, number 65, hands to the face. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 1st down.
Vasquez.
2nd time I think we've seen that call tonight. I told you there's a bit of a nasty streak on Texas Tech's offensive line. He's high. He's doing whatever it takes to keep Miller. Talk a that's a battle of a couple gladiators in there.
It, man. I think the coaches said we've had enough of Miller in that backfield.
Do whatever it takes, big fella. We don't want to see 99 anymore back there on our man 6.
Here's Woods. Made the most out of that, getting to the short sideline. Gideon bumps him out.
That speed and that quickness comes in handy. It looked like McElroy was able to penetrate and had a pretty good angle. It's going to be a loss, but he got around the corner and picked up a few.
I'll tell you who's been relatively quiet here this half is Crabtree. I remember him catching the one in center field.
Just in time for a jailbreak screen. He's all the way to the bottom.
There it is. You called it, Kirk. They put him over there, set it up perfectly.
Just kind of sneak him around. And I think the biggest difference with Mike Leach in the offense beyond the running game is how they're doing such a good job of moving Michael Crabtree around. And look at the effort in the blocks. That, to me, is the overlooked thing from Texas Tech. The other receivers that don't make a catch are so willing and almost excited to block for their teammate.
I'm going to tell you something. Sergio Kindle, number 2, is a big-time football player.
War Daddy.
He come play it now. He's standing over there on the right side of the defense. Number 2. Snaps off, incomplete.
This is a play that...
This is a big play in the game.
Huge play in the game, but this is a play to Texas Tech. This is backyard football for these guys. I mean, this is an easy place. Something they can do in their sleep. The ball perfectly thrown and a rare drop by Swindle. And Texas catches a break and the defense holds again.
Shipley trots back out there. That's another 3 and out here tonight. Hangs it high. Fair catch is going to be signaled by Shipley, and he makes it at the 42-yard line. Let us go to Matt Weiner for a Sports Center right now in New York. Matt?
Fred, Sports Center right now, powered by Vizio, and a check at the top of the BCS standings. You see what's happening to number 1 Texas. Number 2 Alabama had an easy non-conference win over Arkansas State. Penn State is off. They've got Iowa next week. Number 4 Oklahoma is having its biggest scoring day ever against Nebraska. Sam Bradford has 4 touchdown passes. It's a 62-21 lead and counting.
And McCoy hands off, and Whitaker has become the running back here for the Horns as they try to generate that running game. Now let's go back over to the sideline. Mike Leach brought the entire offense down, and he's on the inside.
Somewhere in the pile there.
He's talking to his offense right now. He knows they've got to generate something. They've had a couple of 3 and outs. There's a late pitch, out of bounds, Texas ball.
You got a tailback in the game right now that hasn't played a lot of football. Colt McCoy can't hang him out to dry like this. He stretches the play, and then dishes it. It's a mistake by a junior quarterback that's played a lot of football. You have an inexperienced running back. Very, very tough pitch relationship. Put a lot of pressure that time on Fozzie Whitaker.
It's a 3rd and 15. The Horns are without Cosby. Going deep, man covered, pushing, shoving, and there's your interference call. But who is this one on? The defensive back, Wall, went down as Buckner ran into him.
That's one of those
Pass interference. Defense number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Depending on when you looked at that, that could have gone either way. Buckner's a big physical receiver. He's a true freshman at 6'4". The best corner from Texas Tech. They're going back and forth. Almost every time this is going to be called on the defense. Almost every time.
The fellow who called it, I think, saw the right hand up on the jersey.
Yep.
And Buckner, meanwhile, was pounded. So that'll move it across midfield. 1st and 10 for McCoy. Here's complete to his roommate Shipley.
See what's happening with those safeties, and we'll show you here on the next play. Texas Tech has kept 2 safeties back, forcing Texas to go underneath with all of their throws. What's happening, all of a sudden there's about a minute to go. Watch the safeties. They've been back there the whole game. And what it does is it forces Colt to throw into this area right there. That's the only spot he has to throw the football, underneath.
Shipley can't get to the first down marker.
The reason that's so important, not only are they not able to generate any big plays, look at the clock. There's a minute to go here in the third quarter.
Brian Duncan, their fine middle linebacker, making the stop that time. And third down and 2. Texas only 2 of 10 tonight on third down. Stumbling toward it is McGee.
I'm really impressed with Colby Whitlock, sophomore from Noble, Oklahoma, a wrestler in high school, a great wrestler in high school, using his hands. He's got a motor. It's been nonstop this whole game. Texas comes up with a first down, but Whitlock represents the attitude that we've seen all night from Texas Tech up front. What a player.
Complete. And running for the end zone is Williams. Touchdown, Texas. Malcolm Williams. His second touchdown of the season, a 37-yarder as the big fella broke free.
When you have those two safeties, Brent, you've got to make tackles. And we'll show you in a second how if you miss a tackle and you're a safety, there's nobody left.
They must go for 2 now. It's good to be that time.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes you don't like to chase it, but when they were down 16 for the second time. Final seconds. Colt McCoy's first touchdown pass of the night, and here come the second half horns again. Penalty. There's a penalty thrown by the back judge. That's on Charbonnet. I think I read his lips. He said number 10, I think.
Pass interference. Defense number 10. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat the down.
Shipley gave a little move to the outside to set him up and then cut back towards the middle. I think everybody, there's a tip pass there.
That pass was tipped.
Tip pass means there cannot be pass interference.
Can they review that upstairs? I think that's what
every play should be reviewed.
That's what Mike is saying. That
tip pass should negate any kind of pass interference. That ball was definitely tipped up front. They're going to pick up this flag.
The previous play is under further review.
So upstairs, our replay official is Terry Turlington. Here's the deflection right here. Your man Whitlock
gets his big paw up there, deflects it, and after that, all bets are off. It's a free ball, and it's not pass interference. Let's pick this flag up. Let's go back, Brent, to the touchdown where they're reviewing this. And a great play by Malcolm Williams, who has stepped up with Quan Cosby, who's down with the injury. Talked about the two safeties. Here are the safeties, and here's the route. Watch what happens on a simple, quick throw to the outside right there. You've got to make this tackle to be able to hold him, maybe even short of the first down. You miss one tackle, and that's what can happen, and that's how quickly it can happen. He comes up, has to make the play. McBath unable to make it, and the big fella Malcolm Williams goes in for the touchdown. But we'll have a 10-point game here.
Carl Richards.
After further review, the pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there is no penalty for pass interference. The try is no good.
So it is a 10-point margin. 29-19. 12 ticks of the clock left here in the third quarter. And number 93, Colby Whitlock.
He's having a heck of a game. We just talked about him and his presence. He knew he could not get to Colt McCoy. So at 6'2", 285, he jumps up and knocks that ball down, or at least deflects it. Love those wrestlers that play on the defensive line. Great leverage, great hands.
Let's remember now, this game started with Whitlock tackling Ogbonnaya in the end zone on their first snap for that safety. And now he deflects the ball on the two-point conversion. He's been in on several sacks here tonight.
Whitlock and Brandon Williams and McKenna Dixon. Boy, those guys have really played a heck of a game leading that defensive front.
But now, if you go over to Will Muschamp's defense in the second half, it has been far more effective against the Red Raiders. A 10-point game right now. Muschamp's defense will be going back to work here. Beautiful kickoff. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. So let's remind you again, Monday Night Football, the Steelers and the Redskins. Monday at 8:30. The Redskins playing much better than anybody expected under first-year head coach Jim Zorn. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, are one of the favorites to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. So that's your Monday night action. Mike Tirico and the gang will be along.
You talked about Will Muschamp and the adjustments. I told you I thought it was just the intensity that they're playing with, a little bit more intensity they're playing with. 3 possessions for Texas Tech, 3 punts.
Play fake, going down the middle, complete. Throws a strike to Adam James.
Hey!
And Adam James is Craig James's son, number 82. And I'm sure that it's a proud papa watching back in the studio as number 82 comes up with that catch.
What a thrill for Craig. I can only imagine what he's going through watching his son out here making plays. That's great.
He is the 9th different receiver to catch a pass tonight for Texas Tech. And ESPN Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines returns after this message and word from ABC stations. Another 300-yard night for Graham Harrell. He got a 1st and 10 as we begin the 4th quarter. Texas Tech leading the number 1 team, the Texas Longhorns, by 10. 29-19. Middle to the 32-yard line, and it's Edward Britton, the receiver.
But Dion Beasley doesn't even get a hand on Britton to disrupt the timing between Harrell and Britton off the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time to throw the football, and because Beasley didn't slow down Britton at all, look at that, look how easy he gets off the line of scrimmage. If you're not going to press him and make him fight you to get downfield, Graham Harrell's going to find him very easily downfield for an easy throw.
And 34 more yards of offense. And there's the handoff to Batch. Muscles his way across the 30-yard line. Lisa Salter's telling us during that commercial that Coach Leach got the offense all around him and said, all right, now let's just not lose our composure.
Right.
Stay together, and let's just score the next time we get the football.
Hey, why change the philosophy? I think that's great, and I think it's great that he was proactive. Still up 10. Bring them together, maybe senses the momentum changing a bit. Let's bring the offense together and say, guys, hey, we've dominated this game. Let's go back to doing what we do best.
Inside handoff again to Batch. Melton making the stop, and we will take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, the comparison of our 2 Heisman Trophy candidates, McCoy against Harrell, and McCoy for 166 yards on that touchdown. 341 now for Harrell, 1 touchdown, and McCoy did score. I did throw a pick 6. Charbonnet got him.
Only 5 yards rushing for Colt McCoy. He is not only struggling throwing the football, has not been able to pick up valuable yards scrambling and coming up with the quarterback run.
3rd and short, and timeout is called by Harrell. Didn't like that late move by the secondary. Clock was running down, and that leaves them with only 1 timeout here in the second half. Leach and the Raiders up by 10. Third down and 1 for the Red Raiders from the Horns' 25-yard line. Harrell throws for it to the 10-yard line. Put it back in Britton's hands.
They walk the linebacker up, Bobineau. They're expecting, normal teams like to run. Here's Bobineau. They're going to bring pressure, expecting the run. The receiver's going to come right in here. And look at how big of a window and how easy a throw that is for Graham Harrell. You bring pressure on 3rd and inches, and Graham Harrell's going to throw the football.
Now they come back with the run play with Woods spinning and twisting across the 10. And a reminder, of course, to stay tuned after this game for your late local news over most of these ABC stations. Over on ESPN, of course, SportsCenter will have more from game day here in Lubbock. And Bob Knight was a pretty good handicapper. Pretty good.
Did
on
he
that set? I thought he was really good.
Oh, we had fun. I was talking about the results.
No,
we had fun. That was great.
I noticed that he missed badly on the Purdue win over Michigan, refusing to pick Purdue in anything. Incomplete one at Crabtree on that quick slant that time. Curtis Brown, the defensive back.
When you defend Texas Tech by the end zone, the corner has to give him leverage to the inside. You've got to move to the inside to take away the easy throw and the quick slant, which Texas Tech does so well and so often once they get inside the 10-yard line. If you're a defensive back, move in about a yard or two to the inside to take that easy throw away.
Third and 7. Harrell in trouble suddenly. Not going away as Kendall came in and cleaned it up, but it was Miller and his buddies from that defensive front that allowed Kendall to come up and make a huge sack. And now Miller is slowed. He's down. They've already lost Orakpo.
They went right back to Crabtree on the slant, but this time Aaron Williams was looking up and double teaming and bracketing, which means taking the inside part of the route away. And that's exactly where Graham Harrell wanted to throw the football. He wanted to get it to the inside. And right here, look at this. Look at him try to take that inside route away. That time the corner had help to the inside, and eventually the pressure got to him.
Yeah, Henry Melton was among those in the defensive line, along with the fellow who's down, applying some heat, and Kendall. So let's take a look and see what happened to Miller on this play. That's Melton, number 37. Now you're watching 99, and now it'll be Kendall at the end.
He got caught up there in Kendall's legs. Even before that, it looked like he may have stepped on another foot. You know, this Texas defensive line is tired from chasing Graham Harrell around this whole game.
Well, there's been a minefield of a schedule so far for the Longhorns and Mack Brown. Oklahoma, that started the gauntlet for him. Then it was Missouri and Oklahoma State. Now they've come to Lubbock, and here's what they've got left. On November 8th, Baylor in Austin. Then on the 15th, they'll go to Lawrence to play Kansas, and then the rivalry game on the 27th. Texas A&M, I believe, had beaten them the last couple of years. So Matt Williams will attempt another one. Can he stay perfect? This will be his longest coming up. A 42-yarder. His first miss, it's blocked. And it'll be Longhorn football. Down by 10, 11-14.
Late flag comes in here, Brent. I mean, really late. Which means it's probably a dead ball personal foul. It's just a matter of which way is it going to go. Seesaw clapping. Maybe it's on Texas.
After the play ended, personal foul. Texas, half the distance to the goal. First down.
And when you're down 10 in the fourth quarter, Mack Brown is probably going to find somebody. He's going to find an official, but he's probably going to want to find the player who got caught up in that. It's the last thing that Mack Brown can afford right now. Now they've got to go 91 yards to come up with a touchdown, something that this offense has been able to do. They have 5 touchdown drives this year of 90 yards or longer.
The crowd alive and love it. Got a man open. Got him. And in a foot race is Williams pulling away. They won't catch him. Touchdown, Texas. 91 yards. Williams' second touchdown of the night.
Huge play by Colt McCoy, showing patience, hanging in there, and how about Brent, Malcolm Williams stepping up with Quan Cosby down. He has stepped up 4 catches on the night for 182 yards.
Now Lawrence can make this a 3-point game, and he does exactly that. Colt McCoy is at it again. Already he has 6 fourth-quarter comebacks during his career. Will he have a 7th tonight? We're about to find out. (29-26) as Colt McCoy starts to come back in the second half, hitting Malcolm Williams, the redshirt freshman from Garland, Texas, with 2 touchdown passes. And that last 91-yarder makes McCoy Texas' all-time leader in passing yards. 11 minutes to go in Lubbock.
Brett, let's go back to this touchdown. It's one of the few times tonight that you see a corner who is not up at the line of scrimmage, but is going to drop. In this case, it's Brent Nickerson. Look at him dropping, and look at the little hesitation move. He'll go by him, and Nickerson steps up. Once he steps up, Malcolm Williams goes right by him. The protection is good. Colt McCoy has time. Nickerson doesn't have any chance at all, and look at the speed of the young freshman pulling away from Nickerson.
In high school at Garland, he was also a track man. And now it's up to Graham Harrell and the Red Raider attack to get something going. The Texas defense has played much better in the second half. Snared out of the air, snapped right down by Detron Lewis. He might be the next big thing here.
Mike Leach telling us this week that because of Michael Crabtree getting so much attention, Detron Lewis doesn't get as much recognition. Very elusive, phenomenal hands, and he's a big target, 210 pounds, close to 6'1".
Got away from Texas A&M out of College Station, Texas. First down and 10. That screen pass to the wide receiver, and they bust it. Britton again, and he's been a big-timer here tonight.
Harrell's spreading the wealth. Crabtree right in the slot. He's not selfish. Look at the block. Also, the elf there, Eric Morris, picking up a block. Morris, Crabtree set it up, and a big run and great speed again from this offense. Boy, they come right back. They're not holding on to this lead, Brent. They're still attacking.
Britton has a 100-yard night. Now they come in with Batch on the running play. He breaks a tackle by Robinson. It's about 9 yards on it. Still he's torn down, and now we're down to the 10-minute mark.
How often do you see a team that's on the verge of a big upset playing at home, and they've got a big lead, and all of a sudden that #1 team starts to come back, and what happens? They start to hold on. They start to work the clock. Texas Tech gets the ball back. The momentum is switched. What do? Let's get right back to doing what we do, and that's attacking this defense.
Ball was spotted back, make it 2nd and 3. And Woods now will make it 3rd and short.
It's like watching a different defensive front from the first half to the second half. What's amazing is they've had to fight through some injuries up there from 2 of their biggest leaders in Orakpo and now Roy Miller. Lewis has stepped up. We've seen Eddie Jones come in, Henry Melton, Lamar Houston. And they threw the last time here on 3rd and short.
This time they run Woods for the first down to the 32-yard line.
Texas had penetration. Melton right here looks like he has Woods, but Woods showing some determination and lower body strength runs through the arm tackle there of Henry Melton, able to get upfield and get that first down.
There's that wide receiver screen again with Britton.
Just so much to defend. Of course, you have to defend sideline to sideline, but because you don't know when it's coming and who it's going to, Brent, you touched on how many different receivers he's thrown it to. What is it, 9 different receivers?
9 different receivers.
I mean, it makes it very, very tough.
Looks like we're going to have a Texas timeout.
Timeout, Texas.
Hope there's some young receivers tonight watching this Texas Tech offense and the effort that they're playing with.
Well, Mike Leach throws for a living. Other coaches do it for a hobby. First down and 10. The Red Raiders leading the Longhorns by 3, 29-26. Graham Harrell with a 400-yard night. Like movement in the middle, and there's the penalty flag. Here comes Woods.
Prior to the snap, ball start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Vasquez, one of the bodyguards for Graham Harrell. 30 of 43. His 5th 400-yard game of the season. But note that he's only thrown for 1 touchdown against the Horns here tonight.
How about a career against Texas? 519 yards, 466. And now this game is senior year.
First down and 15. Melton breaks free. Harrell fires a strike to the 15-yard line, and Britton again. He's their leading receiver tonight.
Brent, again, it's the Texas Tech wide receivers putting on just a clinic on how to work back to a quarterback when he starts to scramble. Just so well schooled. And Britton, as Harrell starts to move, he comes back to the corner and able to allow Harrell to throw it down and away from the defender to give him a chance again to pick up with completion.
2nd and 4, and here's Woods. Short of the first down. Rory Miller back on the field. Good to see number 99 back out there making the stop. Orakpo has been lost for the night. Injured knee.
Going right back to that 3rd and 1 again for Texas Tech. One time they hit a quick slant to the bottom of the screen. The next time they went back and ran with Shannon Woods. Let's see what they do here on this 3rd and 1.
They're going to run for the 1st and 10. Batch pounds it to the 8, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Red Raiders.
Well, when Baron Batch comes in, Nice change of pace from Shannon Woods, who's elusive and quick and can get to the outside. Baron Batch comes in and lowers his shoulder, and he's running right through a tackler.
They show blitz. High and incomplete. Crabtree.
I think Texas senses some urgency at this point with the ball inside the 10-yard line. They've got to get pressure on Harrell.
Is that a penalty flag that was thrown? We've had some late flags.
Pass interference. Offense, number 5. 15-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
The big physical wide receiver.
Top of the screen. Boy, I don't know about that. You think?
And then the receiver slipped. Brown. There was contact initially. And the bad break on this was the fact that Brown, I think, then slipped down, and the officials saw him on the ground. So I think that along with that initial contact, I think it was unlucky on Crabtree's part.
I think there was contact on both sides there. But because Brown went down, maybe they felt that it was a bigger push by Crabtree.
First and goal, but it's back at the 25-yard line. Fires in zone. And this time, not holding on is Lewis.
I'll tell you what, Earl Thomas, the freshman, he and Blake Gideon have been tested tonight. But Earl Thomas, who continues to improve and make plays, had tremendous closing speed, because I thought that ball might sneak in there and get to Lewis. I'll tell you what, Earl Thomas, last second, comes up and knocks that football away. Great play again by another freshman from Texas.
Second and goal. Harrell's going to get in zone. Incomplete. He came right back to Lewis.
That's one Graham Harrell would love to have back. Middle of that defense opened up. He had exactly what he wanted. He had Lewis breaking to the middle. The linebackers are occupied. You see, Bobineau takes Woods. Look at the middle of that field. If he makes that catch, he's got a chance to get upfield. And if you can break a tackle from Gideon closing in on him, he might get into the end zone. One of the few passes that Harrell has missed. Huge third down in this game, Brent.
Fires, almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Thomas.
He took a 97-mile-an-hour fastball off the chest there. I don't think he realized that that ball was getting to him until it actually bounced off of him at the last second. He went to make a play on the receiver, and then he realized the ball was overthrown to the smaller Eric Morris, and it hits him right in the chest. You talked about it at a break where you were talking, will he go for it on fourth down, or will he kick a field goal after the last one got blocked?
No, they may go to the longer-legged kicker here. They may go to the left-footed youngster. He's a little bit longer. Here's Corona. And he nails it. They send Corona onto the field. He's been the kickoff man. He hits the long one, and it's 32-26. They lead it by 6. Reminder, folks, stay tuned after the game for your late local news over most of these ABC stations. And if you haven't had enough football, well, go on over to ESPN and catch up with the gang on SportsCenter. A 6-point Texas Tech lead, and the two Speed Demons are back deep for the Horns. Shipley, who has returned a punt, is on the left, and Williams, who just went 91 yards for his second touchdown of the night, is over there on the right. Corona, who nailed that field goal, has the ball on the tee. And it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Let's take a look now at the ESPNU All-State Standings Review. Certainly this game is not over, but if you want to speculate, if the Longhorns lose, does Alabama automatically climb to #1? Kirk, what's your feeling?
I think it depends on how voters look at this Texas Tech team and also what Florida did today. Brent, I expect Florida to move up in a big way, but I think Alabama more than likely would secure that #1 spot.
Yeah, the one you'd have to watch is Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They put 62-28 on Nebraska. All right, first down and 10 now for Colt McCoy, trying to engineer still another fourth quarter comeback. Trails by 6, got plenty of time. Couple of timeouts remaining. Second down and 10. Went to Shipley and Duncan, the middle linebacker there.
Brian Duncan has been all over this football field, showing great instincts. You know, he played outside linebacker last year. Ruffin McNeil moved him to the middle. He's been stopping the run and playing the pass very well today.
Williams is far outside on the left. Inside shuttle pass. Whitaker.
These two teams have championships on their mind this season. Texas at #1, Texas Tech at #7. Both teams undefeated. Every championship team has a defining moment in their season. For both these teams, this is that point.
Third down and 5. Got the first down. Collins, Brandon Collins.
I know Graham Harrell's had the bigger night, but how about the composure and poise on the road, trying to get his team back in the game from Colt McCoy. Big third down. Obviously, they need to drive the length of the field for a touchdown. Comes up, makes a great throw.
Sharp, number 92, checks in late as the defensive rush man. They go back to the run. The speedster Whitaker breaks to the next level, and he is into Red Raider territory.
I talked earlier tonight about Fozzie Whitaker's speed being a difference in this game when Texas wants to run the football. Now we're starting to see just a little seam, and his health playing on this AstroTurf. What acceleration. We've not seen that from this Texas offense all year from a running back.
Complete. Shipley.
Well, all of a sudden there's tempo, there's a rhythm that we've come to expect from Colt McCoy. These last two possessions, this is Texas. This is Colt McCoy. This is what we expected to see this entire night. They've really changed the momentum here up front, and now they're the aggressor with the play calling.
McCoy going to take off to the 25-yard line, and Duncan again.
Ryan Duncan talked about him a lot tonight, spying Colt McCoy. Ruffin McNeil telling us we cannot allow in big, crucial points in this game to allow Colt McCoy to scramble for yards. We'll have somebody constantly watching him when he takes off to run.
Open eye out back into the game, and he appeared to have the first down. We'll see where the see if he gets the spot. It's going to be close.
It's right on the yellow line.
I'll bring the sticks out. And there goes the middle linebacker in pain, and we can ill afford to lose Duncan very long.
Cramping up, fourth quarter. It starts to always come into play for teams. Something, Brent, that we talked about. Texas Tech with a big lead used 2 of their timeouts when it seemed that they might be meaningless. Those 2 timeouts would come in handy if Texas ends up scoring a touchdown. There's Greg Davis
upstairs, calling up the plays. Colt McCoy. He stood tough here tonight, folks. They pounded and pounded on him, and yet here he comes. Can't count the young man out. He's had 6 fourth-quarter wins already in comeback mode. He's looking for number 7.
And if you ask Colt McCoy after this game about the individual numbers with him compared to Graham Harrell, and if he's able to somehow get out of this game with a win, he could care less about those individual stats.
We've already had some wonderful images from the day. 2 fabulous finishes in the Big Ten Northwestern as the game was approaching overtime. An interception for the winning touchdown. Winning field goal for the Spartans. Florida crushing Georgia in Jacksonville. And Pittsburgh winning a 4 overtime thriller in South Bend against the Fighting Irish. And out in the rain in Berkeley, California beat Oregon, and now Cal will head down the coast to take on USC next Saturday.
Going into the loudest part of this stadium, right into the students.
Striking to Shipley underneath.
Well, all of a sudden, a lot of the plays that have been working in the past that have not worked tonight are starting to open up. The linebacker goes to the outside with Omenaya. It opens up that huge void in this defense that has not been there most of this night, and a huge gain there on 1st and 10.
Greg Davis would like to take a little more time off the clock as he scores here. 2.5 minutes remaining. McCoy keeps it. Got the 1st and 10. Steps out of bounds. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Horns. Down 6. 2:29.
Colt McCoy reading the backside defensive end. Brandon Williams. We've not seen this at all tonight. He comes down, chases the back. Colt McCoy using his speed to get around Williams. Picks up that 1st down.
There's the inside handoff to Whitaker. Now it'll be 2nd down and goal.
Brent, I'm with you. If I'm Mack Brown and this rhythm and this offense is clicking, you've got confidence that you're going to score a touchdown. You're going to hit that extra point. You're going to take that 1-point lead. Work the clock.
That's Dixon down. Texas Tech, only 1 timeout remaining, but of course in the college game, 1st down stops the clock momentarily. And for the Longhorns, this is the 11th play of this drive coming up, and it has been a classic. So much at stake. McGee checks in as the running back. Gets the call, end zone, touchdown. An extra point away from coming back in dramatic fashion to take a lead with 1:29 remaining.
Boy, did this offensive line step up on this drive. Whether it was a run or it was a pass, they took control of the line of scrimmage for the first time, I think, the entire night, and it allowed Colt McCoy and his skill to do what they do best.
So it's up to Hunter Lawrence. There's the quarterback and the coach plotting what they're going to do. And they are down for the first time tonight, 33-32.
Wow, what a turnaround here. How about the blocking up front? A counter play, and look at the hole for Vondrell McGee to run right through. There's nobody there. 2 offensive linemen, Hicks and Dockery, come around. They open that up. And I got to go back to Colt McCoy. I mean, Colt McCoy has been on the ropes all night. And look at him. He is willing his team to a victory here tonight. Now it's up to the defense to try to hold on.
And remember now, Red Raiders need a field goal. They had a 42-yarder kicked by Corona, who's been handling the kickoffs. They've got 129, and they've got that one timeout.
.129 for Mike Leach is like 5 or 6 minutes for most offenses. Plenty of time.
Justin Tucker will kick it off. Lewis is back deep along with Wall. They expect to return this. It's Wall, and he's coming out. 15. Alley in the middle. 30. 35, and run out of bounds at the 37 with 1:23. And that's a splendid return by Jamal Wall, the defensive back.
They opened up a nice seam and great acceleration. And now we just talked a lot about Colt McCoy. And now it goes back to Graham Harrell in our open, saying that here are two of the greatest quarterbacks in college football. Colt McCoy had his moment. He took advantage of it. Now it's back to number 6 in black, Graham Harrell, to see what he can do.
A lot of people said it might be the last quarterback with the ball. And Colt buries his head, and Graham Harrell will see what he can do. Snaps it off on first down, and that's the running back, Batch, who slips out. Clock continues to run. Did not get the first down.
One timeout. Texas wants to keep everything in front of them and try to prevent Texas Tech from getting out of bounds to stop the clock.
Final minute. There's that quick hitch over to the flanker for the 1st and 10. That's Lewis. Takes it to midfield now, and they're moving closer and closer to field goal range for Corona.
And the most important thing there is they pick up the first down. The game clock will stop, giving Graham Harrell enough time to get things set up here. They didn't have to waste a timeout.
Another 1st and 10, stopping the clock with Lewis's reception.
Again, almost impossible to stop this backside. He's going to his backside shoulder. The corner's going downfield, thinking the receiver's going to run down the sidelines. It's a timing pattern thrown to the back shoulder. Perfectly designed there by Texas Tech.
Harrell. And that's a 1st and 10. Caught by Britton.
Timing again. Harrell this time going to the other side. Brent, you've touched on Edward Britton tonight. What a big game he's had. If that ball is thrown late, it's an easy play for Beasley. It's thrown on time. Britton goes up in another big play.
Can't take a sack. Deflected, intercepted. Texas. No, they rule it down. Incomplete. I thought for sure that he had deflected it to Gideon. There's 8 ticks of the clock left.
And Texas Tech needs to get organized here because the play clock has already started. The ball's up in the air. The true freshman, Blake Gideon. Brent comes underneath it. That's a drill that you work on all the time. It goes right through his arm.
I saw it in his legs, and I thought he'd had it.
Still one timeout left here for Texas Tech. 8 seconds.
2nd down now. Deep strike. Got the big man. Crabtree pulls free. And touchdown. Red Raiders with a 2nd to go. This is 28 yards. The fans have stormed the field. They're going to have to clear the field here. They're going to have to clear the field. They've got to get everybody off, and they're going to penalize Texas Tech.
Talk about chaos. Goalposts are down on one side of the field.
Yeah, the first thing they've got to do is review Crabtree on that far sideline.
Well, Brett, when you have the best receiver in college football going up against an inexperienced corner, you just throw it up and allow him to adjust and make the play, and the strength of his hands to get around Curtis Brown and into the end zone. He did not step out of bounds. And Harrell just put this up, relying on the best receiver in college football to make a play, and the strength of his hands. Big-time players make big plays in big games, and that's what Michael Crabtree just did.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's a touchdown.
And they're going to storm the field again. They got to get him off. This game's not over. Now, if they penalize the crowd for this, remember that kickoff. Okay, with Shipley and Williams back deep now. Clock is not going to move on an extra point.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by the offense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Folks, that could be no small thing here now with what we've seen. Leach is getting ready to tell the kicker probably to squib it. Don't even think about those two guys back deep. Isn't that Trinity School in Texas that had 15 laterals? Isn't that close by here?
I believe so.
They may have to copy that play, the Horns, huh?
Yeah. It's the anniversary, too.
And here's Matt Williams.
I just got to go back and look at this, and let's all appreciate Michael Crabtree covered by an inexperienced corner and Curtis Brown. The ball is just thrown up, and it's just, you're just asking Crabtree to make a play. Brown is lost in coverage. Crabtree adjusts and finds the ball. Can't get over his strength to be able to secure that football, walk into the end zone, and Colt McCoy says, I did about all I could do to try to win this game. And don't look now, my friend, but Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy comes stumbling into town next week for a huge game.
I wouldn't describe them as stumbling.
Well, no, I'm saying, no.
With that additional unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, the kickoff will be from the 7.5-yard line.
Oh, hey, boys.
Maybe sprinting in is better.
There you go.
I think Oklahoma State is the real deal.
There's Mack and the coaches now.
Yeah,
making sure that
he's talking to him about a fair catch, saying, if I call a fair catch, that 1 second will not be taken away from me. They'll have one chance at a Hail Mary. That's what he's talking to the official about. Mack's out in the middle of the field right now talking to his kickoff return group, saying, hey, if they don't squib it, call fair catch.
Well, of course, you could see where they're going to be kicking from, where they're lining up.
It's about to be. It's about
the crowd.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm so happy we're out here. Lisa, take cover, girl. Head to the truck. She's got to stay down there to talk to the winning coach.
It's 56,333 here tonight, folks. A new stadium record, and all fit well. The Horn fans aren't going to take the field, but the rest of them are here. Yeah. I'll tell you, if they don't have a miracle.
What a scene tonight in Lubbock.
Well,
as we head to Amarillo.
Yeah, Mike Leach over there, he might have a new favorite pirate, I'm reminded tonight, and that would be Captain Hook, as in Hook 'em Horns. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we got a 30-second timeout, and this has been an unbelievable football game here tonight between these two teams. You know, you had the start by the Red Raiders. It was great. Then you had the wonderful comeback by Colt McCoy. And then you had Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree breaking back into the end zone. Just when I thought that Texas had intercepted the ball down here on that deflection.
Sure.
Yeah, he had a clean shot at it.
How about Blake Gideon? Oh, the true freshman. The ball goes up into the air like a feather. I mean, it's just coming right down, right into his hands, right through his hands. He'll have plenty of opportunities.
You can leave the game day set here for the Oklahoma State.
I think we might. I thought we were heading to Baton Rouge for Alabama and LSU, but
it's pretty good stuff for this guy now, my friend.
We may have to
here we go now.
Guns up 2 weeks in a row.
Corona, one of the few times you'll ever see a kickoff team starting from their own end zone, and Shipley certainly on the return team. And so let's see what Mike Leach wants Corona to do here. Squibbit. Here comes the lateral. There's one. Intercepted. Texas Tech upsets the #1 team in the country. No more penalties for this crowd. They can storm the field. There's the symbol in Lubbock. Guns up. Let's go to Lisa with the quarterback.
Let's start with you first. Take me through that touchdown play, the game-winning play. What happened?
They try to man up Crab. There's not anyone in the country that can man up Crab. And I saw man. The guy wasn't looking. I threw it behind him where he didn't see the ball. Crab makes a play. He's the best in the country. There's no doubt about it.
What were you thinking when you looked up 129 left to go and you guys are down?
We're going to win the game. You know what I mean? You left us too much time. You know, with this offense, we know we can score in a hurry. Minute 29 is way too much time for us, and I believe.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Michael, same question. Describe that touchdown for me.
I can't hear you.
Describe that touchdown for me.
Oh, man. I don't want to say nothing, but I dreamed that the same way. It's crazy.
No, you did.
I dreamed in my head. I said, but you know how you do it every play you dream? But it really happened. So, I mean, it was great, man.
And when you looked up on the clock and saw 129 left and you were down, what were you thinking?
I was thinking we got to do our job. We got to go out there and score. If not, get in field goal range so we get Matt to kick it. But, I mean, I guess I took it in.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Lisa, our Chevrolet players of this game, no surprise, the two great quarterbacks who dueled it out here in Lubbock tonight. And in recognition of their effort, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. Folks, welcome to November.
Oh, it's great.
Texas Tech stuns the world, Kirk. 39-33. There will be a new #1 come Sunday afternoon. A reminder, next Saturday, Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines at 8 Eastern Time. It's been an instant classic. Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC. So long, everybody.